I get this question a lot. How do I find the right material that's right for me? Finding material that aligns with an actor's personality, their qualities, and their career goals requires both introspection and active research. The right monologues, the right scripts, or the right plays can showcase their unique talents while also catering to those roles they're currently eligible for. I'm going to give you a detailed guide on how actors can effectively locate and select material that is tailored for them. That means you. On this episode of Casting Actors Cast.
Casting actors, cast what a show. With Jeffrey Dreisbach, we're ready to go. From agents to gigs, learn what you lack. Tune in every week, we're bringing you back.
We're going to kick off the show right after this. Well, hello and welcome to today's episode of Casting Actors Cast. I'm casting partner Jeffrey Dreisbach with the McCorkle Group in New York. How are you? Hope you're having a good day. I'm having a really good day, and I'm really looking forward to sharing with you the ways in which you can find material that is best suited for you. It sometimes is a question I get from actors a lot, and I know that there are a lot of actors whose auditions I've seen that could benefit from this episode, let me tell you. But first, this is that moment where I get to say thank you for tuning into Casting Actors Cast. Please go to the website, castingactorscast, all one word.com. I'm excited to be part of the Broadway Podcast Network, and I think you're going to find all kinds of really cool information on the website, castingactorscast, all one word.com. And now a special notice, if I may be allowed to do so. I've been a film and a television teacher, professor at Norwalk Conservatory of the Arts for a couple of years now. It's an accredited 2-year training program for actors. Now, my graduating second-year TV and film students are going to be heading to Los Angeles at the end of February for a major career opportunity. They're going to showcase in front of top industry talent agents and casting directors. Now, this is really an incredible chance for these talented young actors to make connections and to take their careers to the next level. Here's the thing. To help cover the costs of travel and accommodation, they've had to set up a GoFundMe campaign. So any contribution that you consider making to these young, talented actors will go directly to supporting their trip and ensuring they can make the most of this opportunity. Now, listen, the link on the GoFundMe page is on my website, castingactorscast, all one word.com. So won't you consider supporting these young students as they head to California to see if they can be part of this amazing industry? So if you have any questions or you want to chat more about the details, please don't hesitate to reach out. And I appreciate and thank you for allowing me to present this to you. Thank you so much. All right, let's talk about material that is right for you. I think the first step, and there are several steps that I'm going to be chatting with you about today, but the first step is self-assessment. I think it's really important that you know your strengths and also how you want to be perceived. So understand your quality, your nature. Consider your natural essence. Are you often seen as the romantic lead or maybe the quirky sidekick? Maybe the commanding authority, or you could even be the comic relief. Understanding how you are seen by others helps you find roles you're more likely to book. Also, evaluate your casting range. Reflect on roles that you've previously been cast in and consider the feedback you've gotten from casting directors or peers in the past with the roles that you've played. Quite frankly, this can reveal how others perceive you. And why is that important? That's because the energy you put out into the world gets reflected back to you on how people see you. And so that can be a really useful resource for you in terms of finding the material. Here's another tip. The tip is to balance what's obvious with your aspirations. Now, I think while playing to your strengths is just crucial, don't hesitate to explore material that stretches your skills or challenges your perceptions. This is not about putting you into a category. This is about finding really interesting choices that help you identify your strengths. One way to identify those strengths is the emotional range. By choosing material that highlights your ability to convey specific emotions like vulnerability or your humor or your intensity can go a long way to help you with those choices and decisions. Another category that I think is many times overlooked, which are your skills and your specialties. See, if you have unique skills like singing, maybe you're really great with accents, or you can do a lot with your body, your physicality. Select material that allows you to showcase those really interesting, unique qualities. Why not? There's also the cultural or personal connection that you can make. If you look for scripts that resonate with your background, with your values, your heritage, or your own personal experiences, you know what? This often brings authenticity to your performance. So if there's material that you can relate to on more than one level, that might be an excellent choice for you to consider. Number two, researching. Researching material for monologues. The way that you do that is simply read widely. Explore anthologies of monologues for specific genres. For example, is it drama or is it comedy? Or it could be classical theater or contemporary theater. Of course, you know you can go to libraries and bookstores, and of course, there's just thousands of online resources. Those are all just really great places to start. So that would be the first step. The second tip I have is to search by character. Look for monologues spoken by characters that are similar to your age, that are similar to your identity or personality. Websites like Monologue Archive or Backstage.com often categorize material in this way. Next, you could consider and create your own. If you can't find a perfect match, consider crafting a monologue from a favorite scene in a play or a film that hasn't been overused. Now, I'm not suggesting that you write your own material. I do not believe that that is the best case for you in terms of working and demonstrating your acting prowess. Here's why. The actor is there to interpret the writer's work. There's a real muddy area if you're writing your own monologue to try to fit all of these needs that I don't think is necessarily useful. Unless you are a terrifically skilled writer, I would refrain from writing your own work. What I'm talking about is, and many actors do this, they see a film or they see a television show and they record the show because maybe that show has a really great monologue in it. And they go back and they transcribe that and make that closer to who they are or who they want to show. And that becomes a really excellent way in which you can still get somebody else's writing, but it can also be tailored to suit you. For scripts and plays, I think it's important to explore contemporary works. You can seek out new playwrights or scripts from festivals like the Humana Festival or the National Theater's playwriting initiatives. Well, oftentimes, they will feature really fresh material aligned with modern sensibilities. Be careful about something that is extremely well known or extremely popular, however. So that's something to consider. I can't tell you how many times a play will open on Broadway, and then 2 weeks later, I'm in an EPA, an equity principal audition, and hearing a monologue from that show, thinking, oh, that's so clever. You know what? I don't think that. Sometimes the performance that I see on Broadway is so riveting that it really takes me out of paying attention to you if you're doing the same monologue. Just be careful, exercise a little bit of caution there. Why not revisit classics? Revisit classics with a twist. You know, there are many classical plays that can be adapted or interpreted in ways that make them feel very personal and very fresh for you. I know a wonderful older actress who's decided that she is going to play every male Shakespeare character for a career choice. I think that that's kind of brilliant because the approach is something that is fresh, it's different, and it's personal. Moving on from there, another tip is to browse playwrights that you admire. So if you connect with a particular playwright's voice, for example, like August Wilson or Sarah Ruhl or Annie Baker, explore more of their work. That's a real, especially more obscure work that might not be as well known. Doing that for auditions is really great. Here's another tip: match the tone of the project, right? So if you're auditioning for a TV comedy, clearly you want to avoid dramatic monologues and choose something light and very witty. Conversely, for a serious drama, find material with depth and complexity. Another tip: review character breakdowns. Use the casting call's character descriptions as a guide to choose pieces that mirror those traits. If you take nothing else away from this podcast today, that would be the tip that I think is going to nail it. Making sure that what casting is looking for are qualities that you can find and apply in other monologues, in other pieces of work. So number 3, let's move on from there. Where to find material? Where do I find this stuff? I get asked that a lot. Obviously, right? Libraries and theaters. You know, most public libraries have extensive collections of plays and monologue anthologies. Often they're categorized by genre or time period. Here's a tip you might not have thought of. Theater companies. Many theater companies maintain archives of scripts that they've produced, which can absolutely be a treasure trove of material. And then obviously there are online resources, play databases and websites like Dramatists Play Service or New Play Exchange and Samuel French. They allow actors to search for scripts by playwright, by theme, or by type. Then, of course, there are definitely monologue-specific sites. Backstage, Stage Agent, and Actorama often curate lists of monologues for auditions. And then there are those streaming platforms. Watching filmed performances on platforms like Broadway HD or National Theater at home can introduce you to new material. Networking and recommendations. Peers and mentors, fellow actors, directors, or acting coaches often have go-to recommendations based on your qualities and your skill set. Here's another tip: workshops and classes. Acting classes frequently expose participants to a variety of material and may offer guidance on finding personalized scripts. Those people that are teaching these monologue classes or scene study classes, believe me, they have a whole host of ideas for scripts and material that they've been working with over the years. They're probably going to be a terrific resource for you to consider. Number 4, tailoring the material. Choose material that feels authentic. Emotional connection. Select material that resonates emotionally. This makes performances more genuine and impactful. There's also voice alignment. The language and the tone of the piece should suit your natural vocal rhythm and style. So, for example, if a piece feels too awkward or forced, it's definitely not going to be the best choice for you. Continuing on from there, I would love for you to also remember to edit wisely. For example, it's really okay for you to trim for time. If the full piece is too long, edit it down to highlight its strongest, most impactful moments. Always ensure edits maintain narrative coherence so that it makes sense. You don't just want to be editing arbitrarily. But also, too many times, actors are trying to maintain the cohesive nature of the plot, if it's like a play, for example. And that's not necessary. You don't necessarily have to keep in things that are germane to the journey of the plot of the piece. It really is about where that character is emotionally. Moving on from there, I think it's important to make it personal by adjusting small details, if allowed, to make the piece feel closer to your life, to your experience. Number 5, the value of finding the right material is staying up to date with current trends. Track industry needs, research current productions, look at what's popular on stage, look at what's popular on television and streaming platforms. Now, this helps you align your material with industry trends. It also helps you cast yourself well. When you see a series, a television series, for example, or a procedural that really aligns with your creativity, but it also aligns with who you are, that's material that is well worth investigating, finding for monologues and for scenes, for whatever you might be looking for. Another suggestion is to follow casting directors. You know, it's true, many casting professionals discuss what they're looking for on social media or in interviews. Participate in playwriting communities. Read new works. Many playwrights workshop their scripts in public forums, providing actors access to fresh material. Have you thought about this? What about collaborating with writers? Partnering with playwrights or screenwriters can result in original material tailored to your strengths. And so, as we continue on with this, I think it's important to avoid common pitfalls. Let's talk about those common pitfalls. We're going to continue the conversation right after this. It's important that we continue on by talking about avoiding common pitfalls. Avoiding overly familiar pieces. Casting directors often tire of hearing the same monologues or scenes. Seek less commonly used material to stand out. Another tip, don't stretch too far. While it's great to challenge yourself choosing material, too far outside who you are can feel very inauthentic. So be careful. Here's the way to do that. First, stay age appropriate. Select material that fits your age and stage of life, as this ensures believability. Because you are the age you are, your life experience reflects who you are now. And so by going outside of that a little bit too much doesn't really feel truthful. Moving on from there, number 7, refreshing your material. Rotate your repertoire, keeping a variety of monologues and scenes ready, tailored to different genres, tones, and different characters, can really be a useful tool as you continue to move forward. Keeping it fresh all the time is very, very helpful. And don't forget to evaluate the feedback that you've received on the work that you've already done. For example, after auditions or performances, why not reflect on which pieces worked well and which pieces didn't work as well as you had hoped? Then it's important to adjust your selections accordingly. This tip gets often used in a not the best or the healthiest way, and that is experiment in class. I think that you should use acting workshops to test new material before committing it for professional use. The feedback that you get from your instructors and fellow actors can be absolutely valuable for you when you're making those choices of materials that suit who you are now. So By combining self awareness with strategic research, actors can really find material that showcases their unique abilities and aligns with their career goals, ensuring that they're always ready to deliver compelling performances tailored to who they are and tailored to the opportunities that are available or will be available to you. Thank you so much for tuning into this episode of Casting Actors Cast. Please don't forget to leave me a like and a share and a thumbs up, all that good stuff. And I hope to see you next time on Casting Actors Cast.
It's been great having you in our talent pool today. Your support means the world to us, so please consider sharing, liking, and reviewing this episode wherever you jump in. I'm Megan Grace Martinez. Thanks.
From monologues